The first question is from integration, and integration is the reverse process of differentiation. They call it that in differentiation, if you are given y, which is the function of x, and we have to differentiate y, which is dy all over dx, we're going to have an expression here as the answer. So in order to take that expression back to y, that is the process of integration. And the first question here is to integrate x squared plus 3x minus 5. So how do we do this? Is x squared plus 3x minus 5 dx. So what we do is that we assume we are multiplying each of these variables by x, and we divide the result by the power of x. So here if you multiply x squared by x, we have x cubed, and we divide by 3, which is the power of x here, plus 3x multiplied by x, this is 3x squared over 2, which is the power of x, minus 5 multiplied by x, that is 5x, and what will be the divisor? Since x can be raised to the power of 1 here, so divide by 1, then plus k, which is the constant. So the answer here will be s cubed over 3 plus 3x squared over 2 minus 5x plus k, and that is option C. This is the second question. This is a question from standard 4. So don't forget, this is Jamb. In all your ways, you must try as much as possible to finish very fast, because the time will not be on your side. So you have a question like this: evaluate 0.0028213 divided by 0.634 and give your answer in standard 4. So one way I can advise you to do it is to press the answer directly on the Jamb calculator. Just press the question directly. Whichever answer you have, then you pick it as the option. But to work this out, if you can convert the upper one to standard form, which is 2.8213 times 10 raised to the power of what? Minus 3 over 6.34 times 10 raised to the power of minus 1. So here you can separate out the powers, which is this, and you can separate out the real numbers. So this is 2.8213 divided by 6.34. Then you multiply everything by 10 to the power of minus 3. This is now indices minus 1. So by then, if you calculate this, we are going to have, if you press this on the Jamb calculator, you are going to have 0.445. And if you simplify this, this is 10 to the power of minus 3 plus 1. So this, you can convert this also to standard form. You have 4.45 times 10 raised to the power minus 1 times 10 raised to the power of 4 minus 2, and everything equals to 4.45 times 10 to the power of minus 3. So from indices, we have add minus 1 and minus 2, and this equals to what? Minus 3. This third question is a question on simple interest. And remember that in simple interest, one formula to remember is formula for calculating interest, which equals to P, which is principal, times R, which is rate, times T over 100. So the same thing here, we are asked to calculate the simple interest on 6,500 naira for 4 years at 6%. So 6.5, these are principal, this time, and this rate. So to calculate this, we have I, which is the interest, equal to principal 6.5 multiplied by R, which is 6, time, which is 4, divided by 100. So once again, this is Jamb. Try as much as possible to minimize the time you spend on each question. Be fast as much as you can. So here you can cancel out 2 zeros. So you have 65 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 4. Then you can press this directly into the calculator provided for you by Jamb, which is 65 times 4 times 6. And the answer is equals to 1560. And that is option B. This is question 4 and it's on circle theorem. The question states we are given this circle, and the question states given the quadrilateral RSTO inscribed in the circle above with O as the center, find the size of the angle X given that RXT equal to 60 degrees. From circle theorem, if you have a circle like this, sorry for my bad drawing, and an angle is being projected, this an angle. If this angle is theta, then this angle is 2 theta. This is part of circle theorem. So the same thing will be applicable here. Angle S projects this angle at the middle of the circle. So therefore, S will equal to what? 2 times 60. And this is 120 degrees. So you don't need to do any work itself. Just look it with your eyes. You can say that X here equal to 120 degrees, which is 60 multiplied by 2. So that is option C. The locus of a point which is equidistant from the line PQ forms a dash. The locus of a point which is equidistant from a line PQ forms a dash. Let's analyze this question. If you have a line PQ, this is P, Q. So the locus of a line which is equidistant from this point can occur in two places, at the upper side and or the lower side. So let's pick a point. Let's say this is the locus of a point, and this locus of one point. These 2 points, let's say this is point B and this point A. So these 2 points, they are equidistant from the line PQ. So if you have to draw the locus, we draw our locus like this. And this line, they are both parallel to line PQ. So that is going to be option B, a pair of parallel lines, each opposite to PQ. This is a question on trigonometry. We have to evaluate sine 45 plus sine 30. In preparing for Jamb, these are things that you can know offhand, sine 45 and sine 30. But what if you don't know this offhand? How can you go about it? How can you go about solving this question? Sine 45 plus sine 30 in sort 4. We can draw a triangle here to represent sine 45 and sine 30. For 45, this is 1, 1, and this is square root of 2. You can read more on this, and this angle 45. This is also angle 45. And for 30 and 60, let me redraw this. This is root 2, this is 2, and this is 1. So this angle here is angle 60, and this angle is angle 30. Now for sine 45, know that sine is opposite of hypotenuse. So here we have our opposite, and we have the hypotenuse here. So sine 45 equals to 1 over root 2. You get that? And sine 30, which is also opposite of hypotenuse. This is our opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. And this is 1 over 2. So we now have sine 45, which is equal to 1 over 2, and sine 30, which equals to 1 over 2. Sine 45 equals to 1 over root 2. So adding this, we have 1 over root 2 plus 1 over 2. So here we find LCM, which is 2 root 2. This is 2 plus root 2. Now in solve, we do not leave a solve like this with the denominator containing square root. So we do something that we call rationalization of solve. What simply means that we multiply both sides, which is denominator and the denominator by the denominator, which is multiplied by 2 root 2 over 2 root 2. So if you multiply the upper part by 2 root 2, we have this is 4 root 2, multiplying 2 root 2 by 2, plus if you multiply 2 root 2 by root 2, we have 4. And if you multiply 2 root 2 by 2 root 2, this is 8. So here we can factor out 4, and we're going to have root 2 plus 1 over 2. So here you have already factored out 4. We divide 2 by 4, and the answer is 2 root 2. Oh, sorry, root 2 plus 1 divided by 2, and that is option D. Here we are given a question on data representation. We are given a set of scores and their frequency, and the question states, from the table above, calculate the mean of the scores. To better represent this question 7, I'm going to write out the scores separate and the frequency. So I'll write it in a clearer table. So here we have 5, we have 8, we have 3, and 2. And the frequencies are 3, 1, 5, and 6. So the question says, from the table above, calculate the mean of the scores. So note that if you are given a frequency distribution with the frequency and the scores, and you have to calculate the mean, the formula to be used is mean equal to the summation of fx over summation of f. So what you do is that you multiply each of the scores with the respective frequency, you find the sum, that is the summation of fx, and we divide them by the summation of the frequency. So here let's look for fx. So I'm going to extend this table. We say this is fx. So that will be the summation of the score and the frequency. So 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. 8 multiplied by 1 is 8. 3 multiplied by 5, this is another 15. And 6 multiplied by 2, this is 12. So how do we add this? Don't forget, you have to be as fast as possible. 15 and 15, this is 30. 8 and 12, this is 20. So summation of fx equals to 50. That is 30 plus 20. So I can come back here and say summation of fx will equal to 50 divided by summation of f. So these are f's. 3 plus 1, that is 4. 4 plus 12, that is 9. 9 plus 6, that is 15. So divided by 15. So 50 divided by 15 is what? So pressing that on your calculator, you have 3.3, and that is option D. Question 8 says, evaluate 1 minus the bracket of 1 over 5 multiplied by 1 whole number 2 over 3 plus 5 divided by 1 whole number 2 over 3. So this now leads us to BODMAS. And then we have subtraction, we have brackets, we have multiplication, we have addition, and we have division. So the first thing we have to attempt is bracket, which is B. So let's simplify everything inside the brackets. So you can write this as 1 minus, these are brackets, 1 over 5 multiplied by, converting this mixed fraction to improper fraction, this is 3 multiplied by 1, that is 2, 2 plus 3 multiplied by 1, that is 3, 3 plus 2, that is 5 over 3. So we are done with this bracket, plus 5 divided by, again we can convert this to improper fraction, that is 5 over 3. So let's simplify further. We have 1 minus, here 5 we cancel out, we have 1 over 3 plus, here we have 5, we cancel the 5 over 1, multiplied by, we are changing this division to multiplication, that is going to be 3 over 5. And then 5 of us can cancel out. So we now have 1 minus 1 over 3 plus 3. 1 plus 3, that is 4 minus 1 over 3. So how do you quickly simplify this? There are a lot of ways to quickly simplify this if you are writing an exam such as Jamb. But one thing you can do is to convert 4 to a fraction, and that can be 12 over 3. That is also 4. So minus 1 over 3. Since we have denominators that are equal in both cases, we can say 12 minus 1 over 3. That is 11 over 3. And this is going to be 3 whole number 2 over 3. And that is option D. Find the gradient of the line joining the points 3, 2 and 1, 4. We have the points 3, 2 and 1, 4. So one best way to approach this question is to label our points. So here you have x1, y1, x2, y2. And recall that this formula for finding gradient is also the same thing as slope. S equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here we have y2 to be 4 minus y1 which is 2 divided by x2 which is 1 minus x1 which is 3, and that equals to 2 divided by minus 2, and that is minus 1. That is option C. Be as fast as possible. If a rod 10 cm in length was measured as 10.5 cm, calculate the percentage error. How do you calculate the percentage error? You simply subtract, or you find the difference between the original value and the measured value divided by the original value multiplied by 100%. You find the difference between the measured value and the original value. So what is the difference in this case? We have 10.5 minus 10, which is the original value. Everything divided by the original value, which is 10, multiplied by 100%. So here we can simplify this further to be 0.5 divided by 10 multiplied by 100%. So 0 can cancel out here. So I'm multiplying 0.5 by 10 here, and that is 5%. So that is option A. Here we have a question on change of subject of the formula, and we are given our formula m, which is defined as n the root of SL divided by t, and then you have to make t the subject of the formula. So let's write this. We have m which equals to n to the root of SL over t. One best way to approach this is to take the square of both sides. So taking the square of this, we have m squared equal to n squared multiplied by SL over t. So I'm squaring this side. So you can also put convolution sign here. So the n to the power of 2 is n squared. And if you take the square root of x to the power of 2, the square will cancel square root. So leaving us with what? Only x. So that is why we have SL divided by t. And here we are making t stable formula. If you are going to write this, you can say m square equals to n square SL over t. And doing cross multiplication, we have m squared t equals to n square SL. This is n. And here, if you divide through by m square again, m square will cancel out here, and we have t equals to n square SL over m square. N square SL over m square. That is option B. Here we have a question on change of subject of the formula, and as I used to say, the best way you can approach this is to press it directly using your Jamb calculator. But if you are to go step by step on how to solve this, here we have 0. How many cells do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.0000231. Everything divided by 0.007. So what you have to do is to convert each of the numerator and denominator to standard forms. And how do you do this? This is going to be 2.31 times 10 to the power of, you count the number of zeros. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the power of what? Negative 6. And divided by 7.0 times 10 to the power of what? Negative 3. Yes, that's right, negative 3. So here we can divide the real numbers and we divide the exponentials. We are going to have 2.31 divided by 7.0 here, multiplied by 10 to the power of negative 6. Now, indices is coming here. You can see that we have common base, like we are dividing 10 to the power of negative 6 divided by 10 to the power of negative 3. And if you are dividing, if they have common base in indices, you simply subtract the powers. So this is negative 6 minus negative 3. And this is going to be, pressing this on our calculator, we have 2.31 divided by 7. The answer is 0.33. 0.33 multiplied by 10 to the power of what? That is negative 6 plus what? 3. Because minus times minus is plus. So if you look at this part, you can see that this is still not in standard form. So you have to convert 0.33 to standard form. And that is going to be 3.3 times 10 to the power of what? Negative 1 times 10 to the power of what? Negative 3. That is the result of minus 6 plus 3. So our final answer will now be 3.3 times 10 to the power of what? Negative 1. Now this is indices again. If you have multiplication and you have common base, we simply add the powers. So plus negative 3. and here you have 3.3 times 10 to the power of what? -4. And that is option C. In many ways, oh, that's supposed to be in how many ways can the world's masses can be arranged? Masses, is that an English word? Okay, let's just talk about that. The major question is that in how many ways can the word masses be arranged? This is a question on arrangement. Basically, you see this topic on permutation and computation. If you want to read more about this, so here we are given the question: in how many ways can the word masses be arranged? So in approaching this kind of question, if you see this kind of question, what you have to do is to count. So how many letters do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have 8. So we now come and say that 8 factorial. Don't worry, I will explain the meaning of factorial later. Divided by, if there's any letter that is repeated, then you take that number to you take the factorial of that number. So let's look at m. M is not repeated, right? So we leave m. A is repeated twice. A and A. So this is going to be what? Divided by 2 factorial. See what about C? C is only repeated twice. A and A. So another 2 factorial. I is repeated twice also. We have another 2 factorial. We are taking 2 factorial because they are repeated twice. But eventually we have a letter that is repeated 3 times. We are going to use what? 3 factorial. So the answer is what? 8 factorial over 2 factorial, 2 factorial, and 2 factorial. So, but just some quick tip here. What is the meaning of factorial? What is the meaning of factorial? If you have a number such as 3 factorial, what this simply means that you're going to take 3 and start multiplying by the next number in decreasing order until you reach the number 1. So this is going to be 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, and that's what? 6. So that's the answer for 3 factorial. What if you have 2 factorial, or let's say 5 factorial? That's going to be what? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So that is basically the meaning of factorial. You find the answer here. That's your own work. Okay, so let's move to the next question. This is question 14, and it's a question on differentiation. I'm going to take my time to explain this question because these are common. They are common questions that you often see in Jamb. So here our question is to differentiate y equal to 3 cos 2x minus sine 4x. How do you do this? We are differentiating y equal to 3 cos 2x minus sine 4x. Now this is like a little bit complicated because it's not a direct differentiation, but just note that if you are differentiating a function, let's say you're giving a function y equal to x to the power of n, then dy over dx, which is the differential of x to the power of n, is written as dy over dx, and that's going to be n x to the power of n minus 1. N x to the power of n minus 1. Let's take an example. If you have something like y equal to x squared, but let's say s cubed, and you are differentiating this is going to be what? So n is now standing for 3 and x is still x. So this is what? 3x 3 minus 1. That is what? 3x squared. That's simply how you differentiate. If you have a common differentiation, what you can easily do fast. But here we are introduced to another part of differentiation. We are going to be introducing some formulas here, function of a function, and also what? Differential of what? Trigonometric function, such as sine and cosine. So let's treat this individually. We have y equal to 3 cos 2x minus sine 4x. So we have to differentiate this. So let's take this one after the other. Let's take this first, then we move towards to this. So let's close our eyes to this and assume we only have y equal to 3 cos 2x. How do we differentiate this? So by the time we find the answer, then we can subtract them. We have the result of what? The full answer. So how do we differentiate y equal to 3 cos 2x? Here we have to use function of a function. We can't differentiate directly in number cos 2x. We can differentiate cos s, cos a, cos b. So what we do is like we substitute u to be equal to what? 2x, and we differentiate u with respect to x. So du over dx, that is 2. So going back, recall that we have y equal to 3 cos u. This is coming from a. We have already replaced 2x with what? U. Now we now differentiate dy over du. That is, we are differentiating y with respect to u in this case. You can read more on differentiation if you want to know about this. Read more on differentiation. So here we are differentiating 3 cos u. So how do we differentiate this? Now, if you are differentiating sine x, let me put this here. If you have y, this is dy over dx. If you are differentiating sine x, the answer is simply cos x. And if you are differentiating cos s, the answer is minus sine x. So here you are differentiating cos u. That's going to be what? Minus 3 cos. Oh, that's going to be sine, sorry. Sine u. Minus 3 sine u. So after we have gotten this, don't forget we have what? Du over dx. We also have what? Du over du. Now I said before that we are using function of a function. The formula for function of a function is dy over dx equal to dy over du times du over dx. You get this? Dy over dx equal to dy over du times du over dx. So let's go back to our workings and input this formula. So we can say that now that dy over dx is equal to, now what is our dy over du? That is minus 3 sine u. Minus 3 sine u, right? Multiplied by du over dx. What is du over dx? That is 2. So here we now have what? 3 times 2 is what? Minus 6 sine u. Then we are going to substitute back our u into this. So we now have dy over dx equal to minus 6 sine 2x. Now we are done with the first part, which is, I said we should close our eyes to this. So we are done with this part, which is 3 cos 2x. Let's keep that at the back of our mind. 3 cos 2x equal to what? Minus 6 sine 2x. And let's go back to the second part, which is sine 4x. I'm going to clean this off. Yes, let me clean this off. We're still going to be using this formula, so let's keep it. So now we have to differentiate y equal to minus sine 4x. The same thing, we substitute u to be equal to what? 4x, just as we did in the former one. And u over dx here is going to what? 4. Right? And what's going to be our y now? It's going to be minus sine u. And dy over du, as we saw the other time, is going to what? Now, if we differentiate sine x, then that's what? Cos s. But in this case, we have what? Minus, differential of sine x is what? Cos u. Just as we have here. So, we have dy over dx. No, that's supposed to be dy over du, sorry. Dy over du equal to minus cos u. Let me clean this formula off. Oh, I'm going to clean this. So we have dy over du equal to minus cos u. So what's now our dy over dx? That's going to be what? Dy over du, which is minus cos u, multiplied by du over dx, which is 4. We now have minus 4 cos u. And this equals what? Minus 4 cos. What is u in this case? 4x. So we now have the second part to be what? Minus 4 cos 4x. So let's now go back to our final y, which is this part plus this part. So what is the differential of this part? We have minus 6 sine 2x. And what is the differential of everything here? That is minus 4 cos 4x. Minus 4 cos 4x. We are not going to introduce this minus again, since we already take the differential of the whole thing here, which is what we have here. So it's going to be minus 6 sine 2x minus 4 cos 4x. And that is option C. I hope you understand. You can read more on differentiation and integration to learn more about this. Given t equals to even numbers from 1 to 12, n equals to common factors of 6, 8, and 12. Find t intersection n. So we are given two sets and they are being defined for us. And we have to look for t intersection n. T is defined as even numbers from 1 to 12, and n is defined as common factors of 6, 8, and 12. So from here we have t. So let's write out the elements of t. These are the even numbers from 1 to 12, and this starts from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. 12 is inclusive in this case because the definition says even numbers from 1 to 12, and n is defined as common factors of 6, 8, and 12. So what are the common factors of 6, 8, and 12? We have 1, 2, 3 will not go in 8, 4 will go in 8. That's all. So we have the four common factors of 6, 8, and 12 to be 1, 2, and 4. So we are looking for T intersection N. So the common elements in this are 2 and 4. So this is 2, 4. That is option O. In this tutorial, said the answer is not in the option, but take note, the answer is 2, 4. This is supposed to be 4. Sorry for that. So that is option D. Take note, the answer is 2, 4. So this is question 16. This is a simple cap, or that is a calculus, or this is a simple algebraic question that to multiply this quadratic expression by this linear expression. This is as simple as what you have been doing in our classes, multiplying this by this. So let's write this the linear equation first. 3 minus 2x. So I'm introducing a bracket now. 2x squared minus x plus 1. So this should be a bonus question for you. You just have to be as fast as possible. So we take 3 to multiply everything we have here. So this is going to be 6x squared minus 3x plus 3. Then I'm taking minus 2 this time around. Minus 4x cube plus 2x squared minus 2x. Now the next thing is to collect like times. So we start arranging from the number in which the coefficient of x has the largest power, and which is s cube. So we have minus 4x cube. So this one is gone. Remaining x squared plus 6x squared. This one is gone. Plus 2x squared. This is gone. Then minus 3x. This is gone. Minus 2x. This is gone. And this is plus 3. So this is equal to minus 4x cube. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 8x squared minus 5x plus 3. So let's look at the right option. That is option B, right? Yes. This is question 17, and it's a question on geometric mean. The question states, what is the geometric mean of 9 and 16? What is the geometric mean of 9 and 16? Now take note here that there's a difference between arithmetic mean and geometric mean. Now the normal arithmetic mean is what we have been doing since, which is x bar equal to, if you are given two numbers, let's say a and b, this is a plus b over 2. But if you have to find the geometric mean, this is going to be the root of a divided by b. So to find the arithmetic mean of these numbers, which is 9 and 16, so we are finding the geometric mean. That's going to be the root of 9 times 16, and that is the root of 9 by 16 is what? That is 144, and the root of that is 12. That is option D. Y is inversely proportional to x, and y equals to 6 when x equals 7. Find the constant of the variation. So we have options A to D. How do we do this? We are given y, which is inversely proportional to x, and y equal to 6 when x equal to 7. We have to find the constant of variation. So let's start by representing this. We have y is inversely proportional to what? X. So that is going to be y equal to k over x. And we are given that y equal to 6 when x equal to 7. So here is going to be 6 equal to k over 7. So our k here, which is a constant, you can get that by cross multiplying. We have 6 multiplied by 7. and the answer is what? 6 multiplied by 7, that is 42. That is option B. Find the fifth term of the geometric progression 2, 4, 8, and so on. Here we have to find the fifth term of this geometric progression. So the formula of finding the nth term of a geometric progression is given as the nth term of a geometric progression is a r n minus 1. Here we have a, which is the first term or the first number, and r is the common ratio. So a, we can see that a is the first term, which is 2 in this case, and r is the common ratio. This is given as t2 over t1, or you can take t3 over t2, or you take t4 over t3. So it follows that same pattern like that. So here let's take t2 over t1, and our t2, which is the second term, is 4 over first term, the same thing as a, which is 2, and this is 2. So we have our common ratio to be 2. So finding the fifth term is going to t5 equals to arn minus 1, as we say at the first instance. This is a, which is 2, multiplied by common ratio 2, 5 minus 1. And this is 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 4. This is 2 multiplied by 16, and that is 32. So that is option B, 32. It is a basic question on trigonometry. We are given a shape that has some angles. This is 2x, 4x, and 3x, and we have to find the value of x. Now recall that angle on a straight line equals to is equals to 180 degrees, and angles at a point is equals to 360 degrees. So here we can see that this is angle at a point, which is we have a point A. So therefore, if you add 2x, 3x, and 4x, must have 360 degrees. So this is 2x plus 3x plus 4x, which must be equal to 360 degrees. So adding these three, we have 5 plus 4, that is 9x equal to 360 degrees. And x is dividing both by 9. Now we cancel out, and we have x equal to 360 divided by 9. We have answer is 40 degrees. So we have our x to be 40 degrees. That is option A. This is a question from number base. Find the base in which the following addition was performed. So you have to recall that this is Jamb, and you have to find a way of getting your answer as fast as possible, because the time is not on your side. Here we don't need to look at the whole addition before we can get the base in which this addition was performed. If we look at the first one or the second one, we should be able to what? Get out our base. Look at this, we have 2, 3, and 1. If you add these three numbers, we are going to have 6. But instead of writing 6, 1 is written. In normal base, if you are performing an addition, let's say in base 3, and you get an answer which is 4. So what you do is that you divide 4 by 3, and this is 1 remainder 1. Then you take down 1 and write down as your answer. So the same thing, if you have 6 and 1 is written, that means 6 divided by 5 is going to be 1 remainder 1. Because it's only 6 we can divide by 5. It's only 5 we can divide by 6 that we have 1 remainder 1. If you divide 6 by 4, we're going to have 2 remainder 2. No, that's going to be 1 remainder 2. But if you divide 6 by 5, we're going to have 1 remainder 1, and 1 is written here. So study the second one also. This is 1 plus 1 plus 4, that is 5. Now plus this one that we have left, that is plus 1, that is 6. So again, 6 over 5, that's going to be 1 remainder 1, and 1 is also written. That means this addition is performed in base 5. If temperature T is directly proportional to heat H, and when T equals to 20 degrees Celsius, H equals to 50 joule. Find T when H equals to 60. This is a question on variation, just like we have in the previous 2 or 3 questions. But here we have a direct proportion, where T is directly proportional to H. So if T is directly proportional to H, we have T directly proportional to H. That's going to be T equal to K H. And then they said When T equals to 20 degrees Celsius, H equals to 50. So our T equals to 20 K multiplied by H, which is 50. Then here we can find K, which is 20 over 50, and this is 2 over 5. That's our constant of variation, 2 over 5. Then going back to the question, which is find T when H equals to 60 joule. So from here we can insert back our constant of variation, whereby T equal to K is now 2 over 5 H, and then we are looking for T when H equals to 60. So substituting this, we have 2 over 5 multiplied by 60. So 5 and 5 in 60, we have 12. So 12 times 2 equals to 24 degrees Celsius. That's option A. In a class of 45 students, 20 over geography while 28 over chemistry. How many students over both subjects? How many students over both subjects? This is a question coming from SET. You can check out our tutorial on SET or read more on SET from any preferable textbook that you want. So here, let's try to answer this question, and we're going to walk through this together. We're going to use a Venn diagram to make our work easier in this case. In a class of 45 students, 20 over geography while 28 over chemistry. How many students over both subjects? So let's use a Venn diagram. So let's this circle represents geography and this represents chemistry. So universal sets, the number of students is 45. So geography, how many students over geography? This is 20, and 28 over chemistry. 28 students are offering chemistry. So let's say the intersection between geography and chemistry is X. So to find the number of students that over only geography, we are going to subtract X. And to find the number of students that offers only chemistry, we are going to subtract X. So since we know that the total number of students is 45, therefore we should add number of students that are offering only chemistry, only geography, and number of students that are offering both. We're supposed to arrive at 45. So here we have 20 minus X plus X plus 28 minus X. This must be equal to 45. And then we have 20 plus 28 minus X and plus X, we cancel out. We have minus X equal to 45. And this is 48 minus X equals to 45. And then we have 48 minus 45 equals to X. And in this case, we have X equals to 3. That is okay. The answer is not in the option. So, but look it. Sorry for that. The answer here is going to be 3. So 3 students offers both geography and chemistry. Also, let's look at the way in which another base calculation was performed. The same question, you are looking for the base in which this addition was performed. As I said earlier, you don't need to perform the whole calculation again. You can simply check the first 2 or the first 3, and you can easily get your answer. So here we have 1, 1, and 0. 1, 1, and 0. This is 1 plus 1 plus 0, that is 2. And instead of 2, 0 is written. That means if you divide 2 over 2, this is 1, remember 0. 0 is written. Now if you carry this 1 to the next part, we have 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 3. So we have 3 over, let's try the same 2, it's going to be 1, remember 1, and 1 is written. So you can see that this addition is performed in base 2. Okay, here we have a question also on permutation and combination, and that is, we have seen this kind of question before, some previous 10 questions or 5 questions, I don't know. But the question here says that find the number of ways that the letters of the word excellence be arranged. Find the number of ways the letters of the word excellence be arranged. It's just the same approach, the one we used the other time, the same thing we are going to use. What you have to do is to count how many letters you have in this word excellence, and that is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. So we write 10 factorial. I already explained the meaning of factorial. Then we divide by the amount, or in how many ways each of the repeated letter is being repeated. So let's check E. E is repeated how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. So divide by 4 factorial. X is not repeated. C is repeated 2 times. 2 factorial. L is repeated 2 times also. 2 factorial. And N is not repeated. So this is 10 factorial over 4 factorial, 2 factorial, 2 factorial. And that is option C. A ladder 9 meters long leans against a vertical wall so that its upper end is 6.5 meters from the ground. How far is the foot of the ladder from the wall? Correct to 1 decimal place. This is a question on word problems coming from trigonometry. Try to check this out in the textbook for more understanding on how to solve trigonometrical questions. But let's look at this together. So let's start reading again. The question says, a ladder 9 meters long leans against a vertical wall. So I'm going to make some illustration here. Let's make this as this our wall. This is a vertical wall. So a ladder 9 meters long leans against a vertical wall. So this is our ladder in this case, which is 9 meters, leans against the vertical wall so that its upper end. So this is the upper end of the ladder, which is 6.5 meters from the ground. Is 6.5 meters. That is 6.5 meters from the ground. How far is the foot of the ladder from the wall? So this is the foot of the ladder in this case, and how far is it from the wall? So we have to look for this length x, which is the distance between the ladder, the foot of the ladder, and the wall. So let's get started with this question. Actually, here we are not dealing with trigonometry. I think we are dealing basically with Pythagoras theorem. Correct to 1 decimal place. Here, this is a simple question from right angle triangle. We have a right angle triangle here. This is our hypotenuse. This, if we are assuming that this is our theta, we're going to have our opposite here, and this is going to be the adjacent. Now, recall from Pythagoras theorem that the hypotenuse square must be equal to the opposite square plus adjacent square. So here you have the hypotenuse to be 9 square must be equal to opposite square, which is 6.5 square plus adjacent square. Here in this case, this is x square. So we simply collect like times here and we solve this normally. So x square is going to be 9 square minus 6.5 square. So here we have x square to be equals to, and this is 9. You can write that straight away. So that is 9 square is 81 minus 6.5 squared, and that is 38.75. So look for x now, we take the square root of 38.75, and that's going to be 6.2. So we are correcting to 2 decimal place, that is 6.2, sorry, 0.2 meter. That is option D. Find the sum to infinity of the series 1 over 4, 1 over 8, 1 over 16. This is a question coming from sequence and series, and we have to find the sum to infinity. Now, the formula we use in finding the sum to infinity is given by S, which is the sum to infinity, equals to A over 1 minus R, where A is our first term of the series and R is the common ratio. You can learn more about this by checking textbook on sequence and series. So how do we do this? We have to get our A and R. A we know is the first term, so in this case our A is 1 over 4. Now we need to get R. R is common ratio, which is T2 over T1. That is the difference between the division of the second term and the first term, or the division of the higher term divided by the one that is preceding it immediately. For example, we can say T3 over T2, T2 over T1, T4 over T3. They are all definitions for common ratio. So here we can just pick the first and the second term, and here we have our second term to be 1 over 8 divided by 1 over 4. So here, changing the division to multiplication, we have 1 over 8 multiplied by 4 over 1. Here we have 2, and this is 1 over 2. So going back to our question here, we have sum to infinity equal to a, which is 1 over 4, everything divided by 1 minus, r is now what? 1 over 2. So this is 1 over 4 divided by 1 over 2. So in the same case here, you have 1 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 1. And this is 1 over 2. That is option A. Find the factors of 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Here we are given a quadratic expression and we are to find the factors of the expression. Here let's rewrite the quadratic expression once again. You have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. The best way to approach this is to use the general equation form. And the general equation of a quadratic expression is simply ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now, we are not considering equals to 0 here because this is just a quadratic expression, not an equation. So here this is our a, this is b, and this is c. As you can see, the coefficient of x squared is the a, the coefficient of x is b, and the constant minus 3 in this case is going to be c. So you take a and c and you multiply the two of them and you write the answer somewhere. So here we have a multiplied by c, which is 2 multiplied by minus 3. The answer equals to minus 6. So now we have to look for two numbers which are factors of 6, whereby adding them or subtracting them is going to give us 5, and multiplying them will give us 6 minus 6. If you add those two numbers, let's say we have m and n. If you add m and n, we are going to have 5, positive 5, and if you multiply m and n, we are going to have negative 6. So we have to look for those two numbers. So the best way is to write out the factors of minus 6, or let's just pick 6. Here we have the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So here, if you pick 1 and 6, 2 and 3 will not work in this case, because if you take, we are looking for positive 5, which is what we have here as b. If you take positive 2 and positive 3, adding these two numbers, we are going to have plus 5, but multiplying them, we are going to have plus 6, and here we must have what? Negative 6. So these numbers will not work. So let's simply pick 1 and 6. If you multiply 1 and 6, we're going to have plus 6. So for us to have negative 6, let's introduce negative to 1 and positive to 6. So taking this, minus 1 times 6 is going to be what? Minus 6. And minus 1 plus 6 is going to be what? Positive 5. So we have our vectors to be minus 6 and positive 6. Minus 1 and positive 6. So here we simply come back to our question and say 2x squared. Now we replace 5x with this expression, minus x plus 6x minus 3. You get that? So now we're putting them into brackets. So here let's factorize. We have x is common in both sides. So this is 2x minus 1. And in this case, minus 3 is common in both sides. So this is plus 3, and this is 2x minus 1. So we must have the same thing inside of the bracket, and this is going to be 2x minus 1. We are picking one out of the two, and we write the outer expressions, which is x plus 3. So these are the factors of the expression 2x squared plus 5x minus 3, 2x minus 1, x plus 3, and that is option B. Find the value of x for which the function f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 6. 3x squared minus x minus 6 is minimum. Now, you just have to introduce a fact here, or let's say a formula that at minimum point of any curve, the derivative is going to be 0. So that means at minimum point, dy over dx is going to be equal to 0. So if you take the derivative of this function, then we are assuming it's at minimum point. That means dy over dx must be equal to 0. Then we can find the value of x. So we have f of x, which equals to 3 s squared minus x minus 6. So the derivative is going to be dy over dx equal to, then we have 6x minus 1. So since we are at the minimum point, then this must be equal to 0. So 6x, collecting like times here equal to 1, and x equal to 1 over 6. So at minimum point, x is going to be 1 over 6. That is option C. Find the inverse of the matrix. We have a 2 by 2 matrix here, 3, 3, 5, and 6. And then we have to find the inverse of the matrix. Now this might take a bit of time because I'm going to take my time to explain this. How do we find the inverse of a matrix? We can say that if matrix A is given as, let's use this matrix A, 3, 5, 3, 6. So the inverse of A, which is represented as A inverse, is going to be the adjoint of matrix A divided by the determinant of A. The adjoint of matrix A divided by the determinant of A. And what is adjoint? Adjoint is the cofactor transpose. We're going to be looking at every of these things for this question. So let's find the simplest thing first, which is what? The determinant of matrix A. So determinant A will be, if you add our plus and minus there, it's going to be plus 3 multiplied by 6 minus 3 multiplied by 5. And this equals to 18 minus 15, which equals to 3. Now we have to look for the adjoint of A. The first thing we have to look for is the minus slash the cofactor. So we are looking for the minus and the cofactors of this matrix. So the best way is to write this one after the other. We have A11, A12, A21, and A22. So don't forget, if you have a matrix like this, it's numbered or it's named in this way. It's going to be A11, A12, A21, and A22. So what's the meaning of minus? Here we're looking for the minus for A11. What we do is that we cover, okay, let me change this. We cover A11, row 1, column 1. So what do we have left? That is what? 6. We write down 6. Is that making sense? The same way again, for A12, we cover row 1, column 2. This is row 1, column 2. What do we have left? That is 5. So the same way for A21, we cover row 1, column 2. So this is row 1, column 2. And what we have left is 3. And the same case for A22, row 2, column 2. Row 2, column 2. And that is 3. So that is how we can find the minus of a matrix. Now we have gotten the minus. The next thing is to find the cofactor. So how do you find the cofactor? You simply come to each of the entries. Here we have A11. If you have 1 and 1, if you add 1 and 1, we have even number, which is 2. Then you introduce plus. This is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is odd number, 3. Then you put minus. Here you have 3 also. 2 and 1 is 3. This is minus. And 2 and 2, which is positive, which is even number, we put positive. You get that? For even numbers, you use positive, and for odd numbers, you use negative. And that is how we can find the cofactor. So we have gotten the cofactor. So let's write out the matrix of the cofactor. It's going to be 6 minus 3 minus 5 and 3. So we have gotten the minus and the cofactor. So the next thing is to get the adjoint. An adjoint of a matrix A is defined as the cofactor of A transpose. So we transpose the matrix of the cofactor of A. So the adjoint of A in this case is going to be the transpose of this matrix, and that is 6 minus 5. It means we change the rows to column and the columns to row, and this is minus 3, 3. So that is adjoint of A. Now, if you go back to this formula, you can see that here we have gotten our adjoint of A and also the determinant of A. We simply introduce all these parameters into our inverse. So the inverse of matrix A now is going to be the adjoint of matrix A, which is 6 minus 5 minus 3, 3. Everything divided by the determinant of A, which is 3. So we divide each entry by 3, and here is going to give us 6 divided by 3, that is going to be 2. This is minus 5 over 3. This is 1 minus 1, and this is 1. So this is the inverse of the matrix that we are given. So looking at the options, that is option A. Yes, option A. This is a question from data representation and also joined with ratios and proportion. The pie chart above shows the allocation of money to each sector in a farm. The total amount allocated to the farm is 80,000 naira. Find the amount allocated to fertilizer. Find the amount allocated to fertilizer. If you look at this pie chart very well, this way fertilizer is. And one way you can know is to take the angle of the represented part, we divide it by the total sum of angle on it at a point, which is the angle in this circle, which is 360 degrees. I will multiply it with the total number of money allocated. Here, by just mere looking, we can see that fertilizer is 90 degrees because we have the sign of right angle here. So fertilizer is 90 degrees. If you want to confirm that, you can simply subtract the addition of 40, 50, 80, 70, and 30 from 360. So you're going to have fertilizer to be equal to 90 degrees. So here to find the amount of money allocated to fertilizer, we simply take fertilizer's degree, which is 90 degrees, divided by 360 degrees, multiplied by 80,000 naira, with the total amount of money allocated. So in doing this very fast, we are going to have this cut away. So 9A1 and 9 in 36, that is what? That is 4. So 4A1, 4 in 8 is going to be 2. This is 0, 0, 0, 0. This is Jamb. We have to be as fast as possible. This is 20,000 naira, and that is option D. We have another question on data representation here. The question says find the range of the following set of numbers. In data analysis, range is simply the largest number minus the smallest number. That is range. And then let's look at the largest number and we subtract the smallest number from it. So we have 0.4, minus 0.4, 0.3, 0.47. If you look at this very well, we are going to see that the largest number is what? 0.47. We have 0.4, we have 0.47. So this is going to be the largest number is 0.47. So 0.47 minus what is going to be the smallest number? Here we have minus 0.4, we have minus 0.53, and minus 2. We can only find our smallest number from these three. And from where we is clearing that minus 0.53 is our smallest number. So we subtract that from 0.47. This is minus 0.53. And this is going to be 0.47. So minus times minus is going to be plus 0.53. And that is going to be 1. 0.47 plus 0.53. That is 1. So here we have our range to be equal to 1.0. That is option D. This is a question from frequency distribution and we have to find the median. So let me write this set of data very well. We have scores and this is the frequency. So 6, the frequency is 9. 5, the frequency is 8. 4, this frequency is 7, and 3, the frequency is 10. 2, the frequency is also 7, and 1, the frequency is 1. Here we are looking for the median. Now, the way I recommend is, the way I do this is to work with the frequency. So if I'm to arrange this one after the other in ascending order, it's going to take some time. So we can use the frequency and try to work this out. So we can see that even from the backward position, this is arranged in orderly manner. Even though it's arranged in descending order, our data are arranged in descending order. Here we have 6 to 1, but we can still work along with that. So this is 9, 8, 7, 10, 7, and 1. So let's try to find the median. So to this side, we have 9. So that means even if you are to write out one after the other, we count 9 from 6. So 6, the total number of 6 occurrence is 9. So let's count 9 out. From 6, we have already counted 9 out. So we are counting until we reach the middle. So 1 occurs only 1 time, 2 occurs 7 times. If you count both 1 and 2 out, we are going to have 8 here. If you count this along, we are going to have 18. So let me also count 8 from 5. This is going to be 17. So if you count 1 from 7, this is going towards 18. So I now have 6 left. So I have 6 left. So we can guess from here that 2 numbers will be at the middle. That's going to be 4 and 4. And how do we find the median? It's going to be 4 plus 4 divided by 2. That is 8 divided by 2, and that's going to be 4. So answer here is going to be 4. That is the median of the distribution. A fair die is tossed twice. What is the probability of getting a sum greater or equal to 7? A fair die is tossed twice. What is the probability of getting a sum greater or equals to 7? Now, follow along as we approach this problem. A die has 6 faces, and it can give us an answer from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the possible outcomes that we can have 1 to 6. Now, a die is tossed twice. So therefore, we are going to have 2 sets of numbers. And one way to approach it is to use a table. Here you are doing addition. This can work for anything. You can use for subtraction to multiplication. Or even if you are given the numbers exactly. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the same way we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's try to fill in this table. So if you are given addition, if you have 1 and 1, this is going to be 2. This is 3, 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Here we also have 2 plus 1 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The table is easy to fill. This is going to start from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it starts from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we are given the probability of getting a sum greater or equal to 7. A sum greater or equal to 7. So we start counting from 7. 7 or anything upwards. If you look at this table very well, you can see that all this part of the table satisfies our condition. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So this is 21. We have 21 numbers which are either equal to 7 or greater than 7. So we have the probability of 7 or greater than 7 is going to what? 21 over divided by the number of sample space. So this can be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 multiplied by 6, that is 36. So 3 will go both in the numerator and denominator, and it's going to be 7 divided by 12. So we have that, which is option C. So that's the probability of getting a sum greater or equal to 7. Find the equation of the line which passes through the point 1, -1, and 3, 2. So in this equation, this is coming from equation of a straight line. We have to find the equation of the line which passes through the point. Let's give this point A and this to be point B. So point A, we have 1, -1. At point B, we have 3, 2. So let's rename this properly. For point A, we have this is x1 and this is y1, and this is x2, this is y2. Now the equation of the straight line that suits this condition is this, the one that says that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equal to y minus y1 over x minus x1. This is going to be the equation of line we are going to be using. Sorry for that. So let's input our parameters. So here we have y2 to be 2 minus y1, which is minus 1, over x2, that is 3 minus 1, equal to y minus y1, that is minus 1, all over x minus x1, that is 1. So given a line here, we have 2 plus 1, that is going to be 3, over 2 equals to y plus 1 all over x minus 1. So here let's cross multiply. We're going to have 2y plus 2 equals 3x plus 3, and that is simply 2y minus 3x plus 2 minus 3 equals 0, and that is 2y minus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. So we have 2y minus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. Sorry for that. 3 multiplied by minus 1 is going to be minus 1 here. So it's supposed to be minus 3. And here it turns to plus 3, and this is plus 5. Sorry for that. So this is 2y minus 3x plus 5 equals to 0, and that is option D. Simplify 4 root 27 plus 5 root 12 minus 3 root 75. So this is solved. Let's try to simplify one after the other. So we have 4 root 27 plus 5 root 12 minus 3 root 75. You can also go back this way. 4. So 27 can be written as 9 multiplied by 3 plus 5. 12 can be written as 4 multiplied by 3 minus 3. And 75 can be written as 25 multiplied by 3. So finding our roots, we are going to have 4 multiplied by 3 root 3. 3 is coming from the root of 9 plus 5 multiplied by the root of 4 is 2. This is root 3 minus 3 multiplied by the root of 25 is 5 root 3. And this is 12 root 3 plus 10 root 3 minus 15 root 3. So adding this up, you have 12 plus 10 minus 15. That is 7. And this is 7 root 3. That is option D, 7 root 3. You can read more about this on source. This question 37 is a question from binary operation on sets. The question states that the operation asterisk on the set R of real numbers is defined by x asterisk y equals to 3x plus 2y minus 1. Find 3 asterisk minus 1. Here you are given an operation asterisk, and you can see its definition. This is x asterisk y, which is 3x plus 2y minus 1. So we simply reinterpret this question. We substitute x to be equal to 3 and y to be equal to 1. So now we are looking for 3 asterisk minus 1. So let 3 takes the place of x and minus 1 takes the place of y. So here we are going to have 3 multiplied by 3, so that is x now, plus 2 multiplied by minus 1. And it's going to be 9 minus 2 minus 1. And that is 9 minus 3. And the answer is 6. So we have option C as the answer. Find the area of the triangle PQR where line PQ is 36 centimeter, QR is 15 centimeter, and angle PQR is 90 degrees. So let's try to draw out this triangle, the triangle PQR. Here we can see that there's a 90 degrees. So this is a right angle triangle. So this is our 90 degree. And since we know that Q's carry the angle, so this is Q. So let's take the P, and here is R. So the line PQ, which is 36 centimeter, QR is 15, this is QR, this is 15 centimeter, and we have angle PQR to be 90 degrees. So the area of this triangle is going to be half base multiplied by height. And you have half times base, the base is 15, and the height is 36. So 3 between 36 is going to be 18, and 15 multiplied by 18, that is 270 cm squared, and that is option C. Wow, congratulations, you have tried so far. This is the last question from this tutorial set, and here we have a question coming from straight lines. In the diagram above, you have the diagram already. MN, PQ, and RS are parallel lines. It means this line, and this line, they are parallel lines. What's the value of the angle marked X? So we are looking for X. Now this is a straightforward question. We can see that from the arrangement of these lines, this angle X, let's say this another angle theta, angle X and angle theta, they are equal. This is what corresponding angle. So once if you can find angle theta, then that's also angle X. And how can we find theta here? We know that the sum of angle on a straight line equals to 180 degrees. So therefore 63 plus theta must be equal to 180 degrees. So theta is 180 minus 63, and that is 180 minus 63, that's 117. So therefore angle X equals to 117 degrees. This is corresponding angles, and that is option C. So once again, congratulations for making it to the end of this tutorial set. It's not easy, and I wish you success in your exam. Thank you.